All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, fellow Pandemonium travelers, this is Seattle Pandemonium Shutdown Day 333 by my count. I know I'm entreating you to join me on the bandwagon of my own uncertainty. Yes, I'm stealing that line from who was the guy? It was like a stand-up guy. Taylor Molly. Yes. Join me on the bandwagon of my own uncertainty. So, everything is crazy, and nothing makes sense, and everyone's very upset. As maybe you can't see it when I drive by, but there's like these Hoovervilles, and when I say Hoovervilles, I don't know, Google it, kids. There's just these shanty towns, favelas, just these, there's some development going on, I guess. Shacks and things, and it's just tents merged with other tents, and they're these, it's homelessness. Houselessness, kinda. Technically, I guess that could be a home, and again, people will live out of a van, right? And so, but I have friends who have this set up, it's a van that has mattresses in it, they can live in their van, but they're not living on the street in their van. Now, that's kind of an important distinction in the sense that, this isn't a tent on the sidewalk, and this isn't people sleeping in a car for 6 weeks. This is, it's a ruthless kind of poverty. It's a pervasive, there's drugs involved, probably mental illness, etc. And that's the state of this city. And see, I was gonna talk about the AOC nonsense and AOC storytime thing again, but I don't really want to, because, by the way, I did an episode of my, I guess now defunct podcast. I don't know. Technically, this is still podcasting. I don't know. I did an episode back in it was January of 2016 or something. It was very early on in the quote unquote Trump era. And I did an episode called Trump 2016 is Your Fault. And it was all about how Trump was successfully sucking the oxygen out of the room in terms of all political discourse, all political commentary centered around him, all the media discourse centered around him. And now, and other people have pointed this out, and I see what they see in the same sense that I saw what I saw, is that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is effectively just managing to gobble up media time. She's gobbling up, clock cycles. Black history is American world history. Okay. So, also, white history is American and world history. Okay. Making great progress, guys. Okay. But I don't want to talk about that, because even talking about it is getting all into stupid Voldemort territory of well, now you're, contributing to the thing. Anyways, I'd rather talk about urban blight. And I've probably said all of this stuff before, but I honestly want to know what, we're all going to see, okay? We're all going to see this firsthand. We have states like Washington, we have states like, New York, where, Governor Cuomo or Inslee here have said, okay, we're going to start reopening things, now that the election is over. By the way, not a non-factor. Okay? Like, just be real. Not a non-factor in that decision. Oh, okay, politically, we're back in clear waters, so let's go ahead and do everything that we want to do now rather than make everything worse the way that it was. If that sounds conspiratorial or something, or, like nefarious, yeah, it's nefarious to you, then I think you're naive. I think you're just not really reading the room correctly, because that is 100% a factor in what has occurred over the last month. Now that the election's over, now all of a sudden it's okay to reopen civilization. Yeah, okay. Now here's the poison pill of the whole thing. Yeah, you don't just reopen everything, guys. All those relationships. Again, I've covered this before. I'll try to articulate it again. Communities exist because of commerce. Not just a bunch of people who all live in the same location, right? A bunch of people who live in an area, and they all order from Amazon, and they never talk to one another, and they don't go out and shop in their neighborhood. They don't go out and even go for walks or whatever because you were told you can't. That's not a community. And in fact, I would say that's not even really a society. That's a bunch of people subsiding. They're existing. That's not really surviving. That's not thriving. That is, you exist and there are other people in the world. That's not a relationship. You don't have a relationship with anybody else, right? Even your work associates over Zoom meetings, you have a deep, empowering, really connective tissue relationship with your coworkers that you have only ever talked to on a Zoom meeting. And as far as you all know, basically your day consists of like maybe writing code and sending emails or something. Like, you should get out of my way. Okay. Volvo drivers, you're not really on the list, but you're working on it. There's no community without commerce, and our commerce has been canceled. So the result is a decayed, frayed, disrupted society. I mean, like you can say, well, restaurants, Inslee, I know you're listening, or one of your interns is, you fucking hack. We're going to reopen to 50% capacity on restaurants. Okay. A lot of restaurants, a lot of businesses in general, can't operate on 50% capacity. Okay? We've been over this. I've stated these things before, but let's do it again. 50% capacity, 25% capacity. That's not a viable business model. If they are open, they are banking on, well, come on, get after it. They are banking on returning to 100% capacity within a certain time frame. And if we don't hit that time frame, guess what? Canceled, done, finished. Because they can only extend so far. And here's the solution to all this. Oh no, don't worry, we're gonna give you bailout relief money. You can't print, well, maybe you can. We're gonna find out what happens when they do. Print trillions of dollars in stimulus, give it to mostly crony capitalist cohorts, and a tiny fraction will come down to, the local pizza joint in your neighborhood in Washington State that was closed down because of COVID. Like some tiny $600 stimulus nonsense is going to come down to the local business owners who were canceled by the same government that they then are commanded by moral virtue, allegedly, to vote for. And, oh, put us back in office. Oh, get that terrible Trump out. That Trump, he's what's causing all these problems. Meanwhile, it's literally your state and local level government and law enforcement that are forcing your business to evaporate in front of your eyes. That is what is happening. Okay? Say what you want about Trump, say what you want about Republicans, say what you want about Democrats, liberals, conservatives, free market, socialism. That is what is happening. And you're supposed to just wait for your government check, I guess. I don't know. Like, just wait for your government check. Everything's going to work out. It's all going to be fine. And again, is there some connection, by the way, between all these homeless camps in my city and the policies that are being enacted at a state and federal level? I mean, that's the question, right? We can talk about personal failings all day long, and some of the people who are living in tents on the side of the road, yeah, they probably have some personal failings. However, they didn't used to be there. There didn't used to be these people sleeping on the side of the freeway. Okay? And I say freeway, and I mean freeway. 80 miles an hour, you drive by, and there's a guy in a sleeping bag next to the freeway. So, personal failing, homeless veteran, mental illness, all of these things, but that guy didn't used to be there. And I say this as a Seattle transplant. 2007, if I'm remembering right, I arrived here. It didn't used to be like this. Are these symptoms of the greater dysfunction of the American experiment? Like, is democracy not working? Is it failing? Is our, military-industrial complex driving us into the ground? Is our society still functional? Because I'm continuously told, especially over the last year, that it's irreparably racist and irredeemable and all this other stuff. So, at that point, what are we doing then? What are we doing? We're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. We're polishing brass on the Titanic. It's all going down, man. So we're play acting that we can make this work when we all basically know it can't work. Or it can work, and everyone just needs to shut up and do more work. Right? If we just do more and create more, then there will be more. That's kind of my solution to all of this. And so you want to get everything out of the way of your John Galts and your Elon Musks and your Kyle Stiles and let them get their work done, do work, and create more for everyone else. And then people won't have to live in tents on the side of the freeway. Is it something like that? I hope it's something like that. I hope there's a solution. If there's not a solution, then, well, buy guns and buy ammo, I guess. All right. That's enough for me for, what, a Thursday? Oh, my God. Bye.